I'm Kerry Rowett, and this is the Align and Attract podcast, helping you to create your version of an aligned business. Let's dive into today's episode. Before we get into today's episode, I wanted to let you know that the doors to my Align and Attract group program, which is at alignandattract.com/course, are now open. And in Align and Attract, we align to our big picture goals, our ideal clients, our fees or our pricing, our income goals, and our ideal numbers. But once you get into it, you end up aligning to exactly what it is that you want and need to create the business that you actually really desire. And you can join Align Attract at any time, but there is a live round starting on the 31st of May. So it is a really amazing time to join us. So jump across and have a look. In today's episode, I am talking to a participant from Align and Attract, Erica Boettcher. She is a mother of two, a kinesiology practitioner. There are a lot of kinesiologists in Align and Attract, I will say. And she's a teacher who loves working with children and adults from her clinic, Eastern Balance Kinesiology, in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. She's passionate about nurturing and empowering others to listen to and understand what their bodies are trying to tell them about what's not working in their lives so they can restore balance and choose the life they want to live. She has a really extensive training and love for learning, life experience, intuition, and her creativity all help her to support her clients and students to feel safe to listen to their hearts, find their voice, and let their true selves shine. Now, in this episode, Erica is going to talk about how she used the alignment process right back from when she joined the program in 2017 to help her to attract more clients in that stage of her business. And then during lockdown in Melbourne last year, how she used some alignments to get the spark of an idea that she then went on to develop. That was a really beautiful creative project, which has been so much more successful than she really could have imagined. So let's dive into this episode, and I cannot wait to hear what you think. Welcome, Erica. It's so wonderful to have you here today.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off by talking about those very early days of your business and getting into your business. So what inspired you to start your business in the first place, and when did you get started?
Yeah, so good question. As far as when I got started, I got into kinesiology for myself, for my own healing. I was feeling lost at the time, and so off I went. My friend suggested to try a kinesiologist she was seeing, and I just thought, oh my gosh, what is this? It was like some magic that was going on there, and I never thought that it would be a career. But next thing I knew, I had to enroll. I had to know, because I was just so excited about it. So I enrolled. I went to Kinesiology Connection, which is where I teach now as well in Melbourne. And at first it was just, okay, let's see what this is all about, which is what the first year is. And then I kept studying the whole way through, including continuing, with life in between, to become a teacher as well in kinesiology. And then it just sort of happened. So in terms of inspiring, I think it was just, my own healing and my own excitement and love for it, that I just had to know more. And then it happened.
That led you into the study of it. When did you kind of realize, oh, this means I need to start a business? Do you feel like you were aware of that?
Yes, good question.
Right at the start, and you were kind of excited about starting a business, or was that something that was more daunting?
No, I hadn't even thought about it. So at the time I was working in human resources in HR for government, and I hadn't really thought about it, but my heart was so excited when I was doing that. So it was probably, probably the first, the certificate 4 that you do. it was probably that first year. And then I noticed, oh, other people they're jumping into it and they're starting their businesses, and I wanted it too. So it wasn't, that black and white and that easy, but I started to make some changes so that I could make that my job as well. It was sort of slow and steady, easy does it,
Yes.
which tends to be my way, until I was ready to jump. And then
I can relate to that as well. It was, I never certainly thought I was going to be going into business full time. It was just like this desire to work with clients, like what you said.
Yeah, and that's it, I think, in a lot of people, and myself too, you start to think as you're learning the different things, oh, I can help my family. Oh, I can help my friends here. And then it just grows, doesn't it?
That's right. And soon friends are sending people, and even when you're just training and doing sessions for free, and then in due course, that's right, when you start charging, you've kind of already got a lot of people who you have been working with.
Yeah.
So you joined Align and Attract, my group program, in 2017. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your business was looking like at that time and how you were feeling about it?
Yeah. So it's interesting, the things now that I reflect back. So, starting to study, I was kinesiology. I was feeling lost and a bit stuck. And when I joined Align and Attract, I was looking for something to help me build. And then, you appeared to build my business. But so at that point, I had my first son. He was 1, I think. And so what I was looking at, so I think I had been working as a kinesiologist for about 5 years at that point. And so I had built up my network, but then I took some time off to be mum, to focus on that. And then I was wondering, okay, well, what is it? How can I, it's like almost, it felt like starting again, if that made sense. I had changed. So my business was ready for a change as well. And it was where do I go from here? So that's why I joined, to help me build my business as I wanted it to be, while I was very deep in new mum mode as well.
So interesting. I think that's very true. Like, there are those pivotal moments, aren't there? Certainly at the start of your business, but sometimes when you've got a lot of passion, that can be very energizing and very attractive, and that can really get a business started. But then, like you say, you might go through a change, motherhood being one of those very big changes that does take away a lot of your focus away from business. So it's another really key moment, I think, where you do look around and go, okay, what am I doing next? And then you kind of reconnect to your values and your priorities, and then what is my business going to look like now? So earlier on, like when you joined the program, you spoke a lot about, you were really wanting to connect with your ideal clients, and you shared about how what you were learning and what you were aligning to really changed your communication and connection with your ideal clients. And I was following you on social media, so I was actually seeing this unfold, and you were writing and sharing in this really connecting way. So I'd love it if you could share a little bit more about that. So do you remember like what you were actually aligning to, and what was happening that was then causing you to show up in this different way?
Yes, I can't remember exactly, but I still remember one of the posts from around that time. And I think on Instagram, it was the very first time I had actually shown my face. So I don't even know if I even had my face on my website. I did have a website at that time. So for me, I imagine from memory, a lot of the alignments were being safe to be seen, which is so funny that we're here again today, because you meet the things over and over again. I've not done a video podcast interview before as well. But the alignment's there about being safe to be seen, and just to, to be me, to be able to be vulnerable and connect with those people who are going to benefit from that. And, your process really helped me realize that I don't have to talk to everyone. I talk to the people who want to hear from, or who I can, from me, or who I can help. So I think that's what was going on at that time, and it was amazing. And I remember it was just so simple, because the process and the modules that we go through, and your suggestions along the way are always so insightful as well. But it's, I just realized that if I want people to come and see me, I need to let them know I'm here.
And how interesting as well, like for it to be that simple in this instance. It's like, wow, I'm not even showing up and showing my face. And
Yeah.
I'm the person that people are connecting with. I've got a comment that you made in the groups. This is back from 2017.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. So I'm going to share it. So I just wanted to stop by to say how excited I am that over the past few weeks, I've had wonderful new ideal clients contact me seemingly out of nowhere. And my client numbers this month are almost double the past few months. I've also had some old clients return thanks to my increased communication on social media, and friends and family are even commenting that I seem to be doing really well and are referring their friends too. All things I have aligned to.
And how good is it, So the alignment process and, the magic of kinesiology, and when you're doing the work, you're putting the energy in, you're rewarded for it as well. And whenever I forget and I, fall off my way and I come back to it, and, I come back to social media and I'm using those tips that I remember, I've got you there in the back of my head. It works. So someone will say, oh, I've been meaning to see you, or, oh, that's what I need. It works. It's simple and it works. So
Sometimes we can be looking for we think it might be some kind of complex strategy or something that's, more difficult, or, there is that increased complexity around it. And sometimes it is just that simple, isn't it? Like really connecting in with your ideal clients, really showing up with a message that is just for them from the heart, and people can feel that.
yes, and I think that's the biggest thing for me. I'm by no means, because I am, balancing, my personal life and work life as well. But if I'm sharing something because it feels right or because it's from my heart, that's what people respond to the most. And especially if I'm sharing and I let people see me, whether it's, my face or just see that little bit of me. That's what they respond to the most. That's what they want. So
Absolutely. And it's kind of having that courage and also
mm,
that connection to yourself, I think, as well. So you can really access that wisdom.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And the out of my head, like you said, the if I'm thinking about what what I should be saying, or how I should be showing up, but if I just show up and I'm just me, that works.
It totally does. So, you joined Align and Track 2017, and then, we're attracting more clients. In what ways over the next few years, and we'll get to 2020 in a minute, because there was a big disruption and change for you in 2020, like there was for many people with COVID. But in what kinds of ways was your business really becoming very aligned to you? Like, what was your business looking like?
Yeah, so it was looking like all the work that I had done. I had those, clients that I had aligned to that were ideal for me, that they really were a joy to work with, and they had courage themselves to show up and listen to what their bodies were, trying to tell them. And I was just having so much fun. And then I think at that point, I had decided to help me keep my skills, because I'm always learning and always, wanting to grow and learn more from myself as I'm learning, as my clients are learning about themselves as well. I thought that it was time for me to, that's when I think I started studying to teach. And so I dove back into student mode to do all of that. And that really helped me again to up level my business and the balances that I was doing, and remember some of the things, because there's so much that I've learned, but that really work. So that's what it was looking like.
And
And
so
then
in
in
practical
2000,
sense, how were you working with people? So
oh, face to face.
it was face
Yeah,
to face.
yeah,
And
face to.
go on.
I was just going to say, in my clinic here, which is where I am today, and one-on-one is how I love to work with, to have that space for that person, that I'm there for them, for that hour or hour and a half, however long we're working. Yeah.
And I really love this reminder that so often we might see online different types of model of business and working online in groups, or different types of structures that you can have in your business. And I feel like this is that beautiful reminder. If you love working face to face with your clients, like,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful model. as well. And that can just be so wonderfully aligned to you and to your strengths.
Yeah, and I hadn't really thought about it that way, but that is what I love, and I have had times where I think, oh, maybe I could do some workshops or, and I know you mentioned we'll get to it as well, how things changed last year, but that's my happy place when I can, have people in here and they feel at home and they feel safe and they feel connected. That's what I love to do. So, and that may change, but right now and then, that's still the thing that makes me so happy.
Yes. And I think the happiness, like the joy, which is something that came up in my interview with Leonie Dawson and has come through in other interviews as well. Like when you're in your happy place, in your place of joy, that's a big part of what an aligned business is. And it's a really beautiful sign that your business is aligned to you when you're having those feelings. So 2020, considering you love working to face, one-on-one, of course, 2020 was always going to cause this massive disruption then. So tell me about how that played out for you.
So yes, that was, one of the biggest challenges to date personally, as I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, and professionally as well. But so what that meant was I was all but unable to work so here in Melbourne, gosh, I don't even know. I think it was 6 months. It felt like so long, that I was then left questioning, well, who am I? What's my purpose here? All the things that I think a lot of people could relate to. And I was just feeling so lost that, I wasn't able to do that thing that I love. And when I felt that people really needed the support, I wasn't able to do that in my way that I loved. So it meant change.
Absolutely. And I remember you came into the group and you did express this because it was just such interesting timing that in 2020, I did run a live round of Align and Attract. When I started the program and when I was promoting it, COVID was sort of just, we were all hearing about it, but it hadn't really hit, and then bang, bang, bang. It was like every single week of the program, because there's always people around the world. Everyone was having like, we're now locked down. We're in this country and we're locked down. Now this is happening and we're in this country. And then progressively, pretty much, I think everyone was in lockdown and going through quite a bit of turmoil and uncertainty in kind of different ways. So it was a very interesting and beautiful time actually to be in that container and aligning to what it is that we wanted, because that had to become a lot more open about what it is that we wanted. So I remember you coming in and saying, I'm feeling very uncertain and not even really sure what to align to because of, the fact that you couldn't actually do your one-to-one work. So I made this suggestion of an alignment goal, and it is safe for me to rest and to trust I will soon receive guidance on how I'm best needed or how to best proceed. And the other goal I suggested was I send myself love and compassion, and I trust I can successfully navigate this time. And so just to elaborate, because some people won't know what I'm talking about when I say an alignment goal, in the program, I teach you my alignment process. So you work with a goal, which you might create yourself, or I might support you to create, or I might make suggestions that for you to use. And then you find out what specifically is blocking you and you shift your energy using my process. So I gave these 2 suggestions, and can you tell us what happened next?
Yeah. So off I went, and I did the 2 alignments, and I think I remember just feeling, oh yeah, all right, what's going to come of this?
It's like it's a bit of a waste of time sometimes, isn't it? It's like, well, look how stuck I am. Like I can't actually do anything.
Yes. And because I was just so stuck. I did feel so trapped, unable to go anywhere, see anyone, do all, the things, as I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. But off I went, did it anyway, because, you so kindly offered those suggestions. And so I was doing it. And even as I was tapping, I still had the doubts, but how good, because in the process, we can put all those fears and tap them out as well. And then the next minute, like a lightning bolt, and I will never forget it, and I will always be grateful for it. But I had this idea for these beautiful Fruitful Feelings, the chakra cards that I ended up making, which I had no idea, but I thought you might like to see. I brought the journal that I do my alignments in for those that are watching. So I've got the end of my alignment here. Oh, stuff's falling out of it. And then over on this side, I've got a page full of strawberries, which was where I stopped. And then the next minute, I've got these Fruitful Feeling cards that are, as I said, about the chakras and helping others and helping kids with their emotions, because that's what I love to do for adults or for kids, and I wasn't able to do it. But then I put it all away, and it, once the idea dropped in, and I also at the time, like I think we've talked about the beautiful timing of how things turn up for you. So I was doing the Align and Attract program. I did the alignments, and I was also participating in Bianca Jewel. You might know her shamanic kinesiology mentoring program. So her program and the group of women in there was this beautiful support program to help to unlock intuition and creativity, as well as upskilling our kinesiology skills. And so within that, and because of the spark of inspiration from my alignment, next minute I was just painting and the cards just happened. And I thought, I'll just do them for my kids. I'll just do them for the kids that I work with. And then everybody responded, and it just blew up from there. And it became this, professional set of cards that I now have in the world.
And what a beautiful outcome that you never could have predicted. And these are the moments that I just live for in Align and Attract. And to be honest, it's why I still teach the program, because every time we do a live round, there are stories like this that come out of things that happen that are just totally unexpected, totally out of the blue, so much kind of synchronicity. But like you say, it's that lightning bolt, and where it can just take you on a new direction that you hadn't seen coming, but it feels so right. Like it's just such a right direction.
Yeah. And I had no idea it was there. It just, it just happened, and then it grew. And I think when I first was telling people about them, I said, I feel like the Grinch, like my heart was so sad and I was feeling so lost. And then the heart just grew. And, even talking about it now, a year on, my face is still so smiley.
Yeah, it's just so
I need these.
Yeah, and I love as well, you've touched on this a couple of times, how when we are, feeling really connected and we get that, true alignment with ourselves, we create the very thing that we actually need.
Yes, so true. And that's it,
and so true and so aligned to us. And then when that moves out into the world, people feel that. They feel that truth and authenticity, and it's got those layers, and that, it's got that kind of real gravitas, it's got that real meaning imbued in it that people can really feel.
Yeah, and that's it, I suppose. Painting is something that it's been in my life, it's been blocked in my life, something that I've, never really let myself take seriously. And so even as I was doing it, I was just doing it because that's where I lose myself, and I was happy. It's my art and my expression of my heart. I was just being me. And that is the feedback that I've received from a lot of people, that they just feel really authentic and like they're from a heart place. So pretty special that I've been able to help so many people. So thank you, for the program and the lightning bolt you sent my way.
I feel like it was just one of those really beautiful moments, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That you were able to really receive that inspiration. So obviously lockdown did end and you are back able to see clients again. So can you tell us what has happened since, and where your business is at right now?
Yeah, so right now business is really booming. I've got the beautiful cards that are still selling as well. I've sold a couple of hundred of sets, of the cards. And then they come up in clinic, of course, all the time, because it's something that I love. And now I'm finding that it's not just children that they're helping, which I didn't, again, see, but it's people's inner child who, are really relating to them as well. So I'm doing a lot of that work. I'm seeing a lot of new clients, a lot of people who I think possibly because of last year as well, they're willing to give it a try. And, you know, thanks to the cards, thanks to that quiet time, thanks to the shamanic kinesiology course and the Align and Attract program as well, I've up leveled. So I've had that forced pause, which now, you know, I am grateful for. And I've had to really ask myself the hard questions about who am I, you know, and how do I want to work, and how am I best able to help people. And I'm continuing to do, you know, my recovery from last year as well. So
Yes, and that's
yeah.
really important to note as well, is that when we, like, it's great to have an aligned business, but it's so important to ensure that we are very supported so that we stay in that aligned space within ourselves and make sure that we're getting what we need so that we can show up for our clients.
Yeah. And I think, you know, because of last year and maybe just, you know, the season of life that I'm in as well, you know, balancing motherhood, I'm not sure that I ever really got that right before. But now it does look like my business is booming, which is wonderful. But I'm really firm with my boundaries and my time, and making sure that I do switch off and I give myself that time for myself as well. So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, I love what you just said then. And I wonder if you wouldn't mind just elaborating a little bit, because I think people will be really relating. It's like, you know, I think so many people did get that real clarity that came out of 2020 and what's important to me, what do I value, what are my priorities, and so on. So, what does that look like for you with that tightening of boundaries?
Yeah, definitely. So I remember when I went for my first job interview for my HR career ever, and they asked me why I wanted to work in HR. And I said, I want to help people. So that runs deep with me. And I'm finally at a place where I'm able to do that. But now where I need the boundaries and where I'm learning is helping myself too. So making sure I'm getting that balance right, which before everything was going to, you know, this is what's important to me, helping others, which is still true. But getting better at finding that balance for me as well. And right now it does look like, you know, boundaries for myself, with what feels good. So again, coming back to just being myself, does this feel good? Then, you know, that's where I'm going to go. So it's a very much feeling thing and less time up in my head.
I really like that idea of feeling, and that, again, if it feels good, that is a good sign. When things are not feeling good, sometimes for those of us who work in this type of area, it's like something's not feeling good, we try and fix it, or we try and fix
Yes.
ourselves, or we try and clear it, and it's like, well, do you need to do that if things feel good? Like, no. So sometimes there is actually something, you know, fundamental that needs to shift, or there's some rearranging that needs to take place, or there's that deeper work that we need to do around our values and our priorities and our goals at this time. And then when those things are right for us and aligned for us, we can just feel good. So that's,
Yeah,
yeah, really beautiful. So
definitely.
can you let us know how the listeners can connect with you?
Oh, yes, they can. So if they're in Melbourne, if they're in, I work in Mitcham face to face. So my business is easternbalancekinesiology.com. And I've also got an Etsy shop these days, but you can buy the cards through Fruitful Feelings. So I'm still learning, you know, how to have this product. But they're on Etsy. They're called Fruitful Feelings. And if they should wish to learn to study kinesiology, they can look up Kinesiology Connection, and I'm a teacher there as well. So there's lots of ways,
Yes.
but probably the
And
first, the website. Yeah.
yes, and on Instagram at,
Oh, yes. At Instagram, I'm Eastern Balance, and Facebook, I'm Eastern Balance Kinesiology.
wonderful.
Um, yeah, so that's me.
Thank you so much for being here today. It's just been wonderful.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice catching up and chatting in person.
It has been. Thank you. So, what did you think? Wasn't Erica just wonderful? I absolutely love hearing about the different ways that participants in Align and Attract use the tools that we have available to us in the Align and Attract program. You know, Align and Attract, it's a small program. It's like 5 modules of content that you can work through. It does not have to take you a huge amount of time, but the benefits that you can get can just be so huge if you apply yourself. And of course, if you come back and use the tools that are provided. So, for Erica to come back, 3 years after joining the program, and then to do an alignment that then gave her this beautiful spark that turned into her Fruitful Feelings cards. She had to go away and develop those and work on it and do all these extra things. But to be able to get that creative spark, I just think that's just so powerful. And that's one of the ways that I have found that my alignments really can be so powerful for me as well. Sometimes they just give you that insight that you need that helps you then to proceed down a pathway and then to maybe access the different kinds of support you might need, or a different mentor that you're looking for, or a type of learning that you need to do. And that's all amazing. And it's kind of come from this place of truth and authenticity, and you really accessing your own truth, what it is that you really need, and then being able to move forward on your true path. So I find it so interesting. If you are interested in Align and Attract, please do go and have a look at alignandattract.com/course, and you can read about lots of different testimonials that different participants have shared. And if you go through the episodes of my podcast, you will find I have spoken to multiple people who have done my Align and Attract program, and you can get an idea from listening to them about the types of experiences different people have. It's very unique to you and what it is that you want and what it is that you need. But as a reminder, the core things that we focus on: your big picture goals, attracting your ideal clients, you really defining the qualities of those clients and what it is that you would, the people you would love to work with, that that you can help, and all of the different aspects of that, knowing how to attract them, where to find them. You can align to these different things and then get your own insights, your own clarity, aligning to your pricing, your fees, aligning to your income goals, and then aligning as well to your ideal numbers. So all of these different alignments that you do, they just help you to get out of your own way and to be able to move forward and to take aligned action in your business. If you've got any questions, please feel free to email me or send me a DM on Instagram at Kerry Rowett. I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.